Hi guys, welcome to the session. So in the last class we discussed about the CSS selectors and all, right. So today we are going to discussing about XPath. Okay. So basically what happens in the real time is like in many of the web elements will not be having any uh, attributes like ID, name, etc, etc. Okay. So in such scenarios we will not be able to locate the elements by using our normal locator strategy called locate the element by id and locate the element by name, locate the element by link text to partial link text to whatever css selectors. Also sometimes it will be very difficult to identify the web element by making use of those locator strategies. So in that situation, so we have one more strategy called xpath. So by making use of xpath we can we can identify the element even it does not have any attributes or kind of a thing. So xpath, like we can identify any web element. Okay, so regardless of whether it is having attributes or not, like that, it does not look all those things. So basically we can identify any web element on the web page, even though if we are not able to identify those web elements by making use of the other locator strategies. Okay, so basically what is xpath? Just we'll try to understand what is xpath. The xpath is like it's a kind of a language or a syntax. It's a kind of a language or a syntax which is used to find the web elements on the web page by using XML path expression. Okay, so what happens is like here we have to understand one thing. So xpath is like it's a kind of a language or a syntax, we could say. So this one we are going to use it to identify or to find the web elements on the web page using the XML path expression. Basically xpath is nothing but which is derived from the xpath, XML. It is an extensible markup language which is derived from this xpath is derived from XML. Okay, basically the xpath will will find the address of the element. Okay, so it does not basically the xpath is looking for the address of that particular element. Okay, so what happens is like, say for example, I'll just try to open one website. We'll open one website. Okay, Amazon.in will open, or any website we can take. We will take one more website called Facebook login. Okay, so what happens is like, so if I inspect the page, so here are there are few web elements over here, right? So here there is one div, one login to Facebook, one image is there. Then we have two buttons like that we have, right? So if you go to Amazon also like that, if you inspect the page, here many web elements are there, which are few of them are having attributes and few of them are not having attributes, like that. So basically how the the xpath works is like xpath works based on it moves from, it navigates from uh, it navigates through the each and every node of the document object model. So it navigates through the DOM. So DOM is nothing but a document object model. So like we'll try to understand what exactly the document object model. So we'll go to Google and we'll type DOM images. Okay. So now we are able to see here, right? Say for example, if you look at this HTML code, see guys, there is one head tag over here. there is a body tag over here, there is an HTML. Okay, so the basic HTML structure will be like this. First will be like document type, then it starts with the HTML tag, it ends with the HTML tag. Inside this there will be an head tag, and after that there will be a body tag. Inside the head tag, there will be the HTML code will be there, which is related to the head, and inside the body, the HTML code will be there related to the body section. Okay, so this is a basic structure of the HTML code. So here, the DOM structure will be like that. So it will be it represents the each and every node of that particular uh, HTML code. So first it starts with document, then it starts with the HTML code, then there is a head tag, then there is a body tag. Inside the head tag we have so many web elements. Inside the body tag also there are so many web elements. So what is document object model? So document object model is an API interface, which is every browser will be having this API interface. By the time of the web pages are loading, so browser is internally creating this DOM structure. So our XML path works on this DOM structure. Okay, so our XML path, whatever X path we are going to write, right? So this navigates through this DOM structure, and it will find the address of that particular web element. Okay, so for that what we have to do, see, for example, by making use of XPath, even if you are not able to find the web element by uh, other locator strategy, we can find those web elements by making use of XPath. Okay, so XPath is very very important concept, guys, so that listen carefully with this XPath. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just highlight on this particular web element. What I'll do, I'll just do right click on this particular highlight and HTML code. I'll go to copy, so I'll go to copy full XPath. Okay, see guys, I'm just trying to put this XPath. See, in this XPath, I'll, if I want to compare this code, so we'll come back to this code. Okay, okay guys, so here if you see here, it started with the HTML starting node. So then our web element present inside the body section. Inside we have so many div section. It travels through each and every node. So then till that element finds, that input tag finds, so it navigates through each and every node till that element finds. Okay, so this is how the XPath works actually. So this, there are types of XPath over here, so that we will discuss in detail now. So types of XPath. Okay, so there are two different types of XPath. One is absolute XPath, one more is relative XPath. So this absolute XPath we can call it as a full XPath also. Okay, so what happens, absolute XPath and relative XPath is like, so inside this absolute XPath, so I'll go to this again, I'll go to this particular web element. So I'll just copy here, inside the copy we have two options, right? Copy full XPath and copy XPath. I'll copy full XPath. Okay, so if you go to full XPath, what is the full XPath? So this is the full XPath. So what I'll do, I'll go back to this HTML code and I'll copy this, only copy XPath. Okay, how it looks like, we'll see. See guys, by looking at this XPath itself, we can understand that. So the absolute XPath or a full XPath, it travels from each and every node of the DOM structure till we reach that particular web element. Okay, so when it comes to relative XPath, it is slightly different than the absolute XPath. Okay, it started with the double slash and the star. Inside the square bracket we specified one attribute, so it is like that. Okay, so when it comes to this absolute XPath, we are in real time, we are not going to use this absolute XPath. So why? Because there is some technical reason behind this. Say for example, we have specified this XPath in this format, right? So say what happens tomorrow, if any changes, UI changes made to this particular page, say for example a developer made change to remove one web element from here, or if they add one more element to this particular web page, so then obviously this order of this div 1 2 3, this will be getting changed, right? So then obviously our selenium code will fails in the while running in the while running our selenium code will fail, right? Because this order is changed after adding one web element or after removing one web element from the web page. So this order is getting changed, right? So inside this square bracket, if we are specifying the numbers, means it means here there are two multiple div tags are there. Inside the multiple divs, in the second div this form is available like that. See, if you look at here, if I want to show you that one, see guys, inside this form div there are multiple divs. Okay, inside the form we have one div. Okay, so inside the div we'll, so inside this div we have one div over here. See guys, we have multiple divs, right? So that is the reason it is inside this particular div. So inside this particular div we have input tag. See, here we have multiple div tags. So in the very first div tag we have input tag. So that is the reason it is specified as one. If it is inside the second div, it will be second. It will be inside the third div, it will be third. So if we add any one more div into this particular div, order of this remaining xpath will be changed, right? So that is the reason selenium code will fail. So that is the reason we are not going to use it. Almost always we are going to use the relative xpath. So we'll see difference between what is absolute xpath and relative xpath. Okay, so in absolute xpath what happens is it travels from each and every node of the DOM structure till we reach that particular web element. But whereas in the case of relative xpath, it will not navigate through each and every node. Okay, so it will directly jump to that particular attribute which we specified. Okay, in the entire DOM, in the entire DOM structure, wherever it finds this particular attribute, it will directly jump to that particular web element. So then it finds the element. So then second one is it starts with the single slash, and relative xpath starts with the double slash. Okay, so one more difference we have to notice is so absolute xpath it's works more it's works based on the nodes. It is traversing from each and every node. But whereas in the case of relative xpath, it is directly looking to the attribute. So absolute xpath works on the nodes, whereas in the case of relative xpath works on the attribute we specify. Okay, so now what we will do, we'll try to write few of the relative xpath, and we will try to write our own xpath. Okay, say for example if I want to write for password field. Okay, so here we have so many attributes, right? So one more thing I wanted to inform is double slash indicates the entire DOM structure. Okay, here instead of star we can use tag name or star also. Okay, so that is the thing. So instead of star we can make use of tag name also, or if you just specify that star, it represents all the tags. Okay, so these two double slash indicates the entire DOM structure. If I specify the tag name, it will look for that particular tag name. Instead of that, if I specify the star, it will look for all the tag names. Okay, so then inside this it will come, and whatever the attribute we specify over here, then it will look that particular web element is present on the web page or not, like that. Okay, so now here we have so many attributes, right? So we will take one is I will take a name as an attribute. So what I'll do, so input is the tag name, right? So I'll like double slash, input is the tag name, open the square bracket. So at, so one more thing, guys, whenever we are specifying the attribute, before that we have to put the symbol called at id. This is the syntax of writing the xpath. Okay, at name equals, inside the single quotes we have to specify the value of the name. See guys, it is highlighted in that particular web element. Okay, so this is for password field. Okay, password. So now we will write for email field. Okay, so for email field we will take one more attribute called id. So here instead of specifying the tag name, we'll directly put star. Okay, so then come inside the square bracket, at id equals single quotes, you have to pass the value. So at id, so it is highlighted in that particular element. Okay, so this is the one more aspect. So I'll copy this, I'll put it here. So then the same way we will write our export for login button. Okay, so this is having value and id and name and the other property, type property. Okay, so we will use again name property. So in this case I'll just try to modify this name equals this value. So it is highlighting only one web element. So like this we can write the xpath for any web element on the web page. So practically we will go and try this kind of xpath whether it is working or not. Okay, so go back to the Eclipse. So this is the page I'm looking, right? So I'll change this URL to Amazon to Facebook. So then I'll come back and we'll put this as xpath. Okay, first we will try absolute xpath, then we'll come back to relative xpath. So first we will try driver dot find element by dot. See guys, here we have to use xpath. As we are working with xpath, we have to select the xpath method. So go back to this code and locate this element, inspect this element, go to copy full xpath is called as absolute xpath, right? So here pass the value, then as it is a text box I'm sending some values, that's it, random values we will send. Okay, so let us send 1 2 3 4 only. Okay, so I'll save the code and I'll run the code. Now it is like started the Chrome driver, it is launched the browser, it is maximize the window and it is opening the login Facebook page, and it is sent the value 1 2 3 4 which we sent from our Selenium code. Okay, so in real time, it is very rare to use the absolute xpath. So now we will move to the relative xpath. Okay, relative xpath, driver dot find element by dot xpath. So here we have to whatever xpath we have written, copy this xpath. As the first text box is, first one is input tag, I need to send the keys. Okay, send some keys A B C D. Okay, so then we'll write for password driver dot find element by dot xpath. Okay, so here the second element is this password. as this is also an input field, we have to send the keys. So send the keys called PQ or okay. So then for login button, we'll write driver dot find element by dot xpath. So now this is the xpath which we have written for login button. So as it is a button, we have to do the click actions on the particular button, right? So this is the click method. See guys, in Selenium, so only two things are there. One is identifying the element and performing the actions on that particular element. Based on the element, the actions will be there, right? So as it is first two are the input box, so we are sending the keys. It is expecting input from the user. Okay, so the third one is it is a button. It is expecting user to click that button. It indicates, right? That is what it indicates. So I'll save the code and I'll run the code. So it is launch the browser and open the Facebook, and it is sending the value, and it should click on the login button. So it is clicked on the login button. So it is telling we could not find any account that matches what you entered, but we have found one that closely matches. Okay, so that is what it is. Okay, so based on the input it works. Okay, so that is what for xpath guys. So in the next class we will see we have different options available in the xpaths. Okay, so that we will see in the next class. Okay, thank you guys, thank you so much.